Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back to the session. In today's class, we'll start with the coding, okay, and we'll start with the basics of it. And once you complete that, we can move on to the intermediate part as well as the data science part. So I require at least 2 to 3 hours to complete the basics. And if you know the basics, it's well and good. If you do not know the basics, then we'll finish it off. Okay. So first that we are gonna learn today is something called as a print statement. How to print stuff in Python, or basically what do you mean by a variable, or what do you mean by operators, some basic stuff that we are learning in today's class. Now I request everyone to open your collaboratory. Now if you don't have your collaboratory, kindly move back to yesterday's recording class, and kindly make sure you're creating your own collaboratory. And once you're complete with that, I want whatever I do perfect. Yes, yesterday's recording session is available. You can check your. You can see there are two things here, right? Code and text, right? So first thing that you're going to do is click on this code. Okay, click on this code, and before this, you can mention. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so if you click on a text, you can see something called as toggle heading. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll mention here basics. Okay, basics of Python. So what happens is it will basically can also create a section for this. So see, so whenever whatever I write inside this basics of Python, it will be stored inside it. Okay, so if I click on this arrow mark, then only it will be revealing. Otherwise, whatever I mean, the next whatever topic is there, it will be mentioned in the next topic or next category. So let us begin with the basics of Python. So first that we are going to learn is something called as a print statement, or basically a okay. Before learning a print statement, I want you to understand something called as comments. Okay, so let us begin with the comments. Don't worry about this. I'll tell you what is this. Okay, later on. Okay, so imagine I have mentioned A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, and C is equal to A plus B. So can you tell me what is the value of A? I mean, what is the value of C? What should be the value of C? Is it 5? Everyone has to reply in the chat box. Be very attentive in the class. Yes, it is A plus B, that is 5, right? Okay. So we know that the A plus B is 5. Okay, let's say there is some person who doesn't know what we are trying to do here. Okay, he doesn't know what we are trying to do here. So what we'll do is we'll mention a comment. Now, what do you mean by a comment? Comment is nothing like you have written a program. Okay, let's say this is a very simple program we have written. So this is a program, and this program you know it, but the other person, or the person who is working with you, he doesn't know this program. So what you're gonna do is you are gonna write a comment. So comment is written like this. Mention a hashtag. Okay, so whatever is mentioned inside that hashtag, that will be simply ignored by the Python. Okay, it will be completely ignored. This is just for your reference. You are writing the comment. Otherwise, comment is not at all important. I mean, not at all required in your program, but it is very, very important. Yes. So let us write here. C is a variable. C is a variable, and value of A and B has been added. Okay, something like this. So we have written one statement. Now the person who is looking at it is able to understand better. So I can say this is called as a comment. So there are two types of comment. One is called as a single line. Now just now whatever we have done, this is a single line comment. Now why it is called as a single line comment? Because if you come to the next line, you can see whatever you write, this is not under a comment. So if you just see that green color, right, this is green, and even this is green, right? So whenever it is green, that means it is commented, or that means it is been ignored by the Python. Now let us understand something called as multi-line comment. So multi-line comment is mentioned with triple single quotes, and inside that you can mention a multi-line comment. Okay. So first of all, let's say adding two numbers and storing the value in C. Okay. And let's say this statement will be completely ignored by Python. Now, if I come to the next line, you can see it is still been commented, right? It is not going to the new line. I mean, not mentioned as a variable, but it is still commented. So anything that is mentioned inside this triple quotes and this closed triple quotes is a multi-line comment. So if you want to use a single line, then you can make use of the hashtag. Now, if you want multi-line comments, then you can make use of this triple quotes. Okay, very simple. I think this is very much clear, right? Let us move on to the next topic. Now, this topic is called as a print function. So let's understand what do you mean by a print function. See, let me write here print function. Yes. So what do you mean by this print function? See, we have mentioned a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to a plus b. But where is the output? We want to see the c is equal to 5, right? If I run this, I'm supposed to see the output as 5. But where is the output? Right? We did not write anything, right? So the first thing that we are going to do is write same value, that is a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, c, or basically sum, is equal to a plus b. Now let's say I want to print the value of the sum. So can you tell me what should be the value of sum? What should be the value of sum? Exactly. The value of sum is 30, right? So mention the print function. So you can see print, bracket open and bracket close, and mention the variable name inside it. So what is the variable name? Whatever value is being stored, this a plus b is being stored inside this sum, right? So we have to mention sum here directly. So write sum. Now what happens is it will print the value of this sum. That is, run it. You can see the output is 30. Now, how to run it? How to run it? Either you can press on this run button. Can you see this run cell button? You can see, you can just press on it. Otherwise, you can make use of control enter. Okay, you can mention, I'll mention a comment here. Press CTRL plus enter to run. Okay, so this is how you run a particular cell. So press control and enter. So you're able to see the output is 30. Now, this is how you print any variable name. Variable name is nothing but this. Okay, for example, if I want to print the value of a, then what I'll do, I'll mention print a. Simple. You can see the output is 10. So if I mention sum, it will print the value of sum, that is 30. So this is how you basically print. But there are some mistakes that you're going to do while mentioning a print function. So let us understand what are those. So first of all, I'll mention syntax for print function. Now, anyone in the chat box, can you tell me what do you mean by a syntax? What do you mean by a syntax? So syntax is basically rules. Okay, syntax is nothing but rules. For example, everybody knows English, right? So I'm basically talking to you with the help of English language, right? So in the English language, there are some rules to be followed. Can you tell me what are those rules to be followed in while speaking English? Yes, exactly. It is grammar, right? So grammar is a rule that we are supposed to follow while we speak English. Just like that, even in the programming language, in any programming language, there is something called as a syntax. That means that is a rule we are supposed to follow to get the correct output. So what is the rule for writing the print function? So let us understand. So I mentioned print sum. This is the correct syntax. Okay, so I'll mention here valid syntax. Valid syntax. Now, if I mention P capital, and now if I run it, right? Now, if I write print sum, now do you think it will run? No, obviously not. Why? Because Python is a case sensitive language. Okay, Python is a case sensitive language. That means it will have a particular type to run a particular program. For example, it will only know whenever it is print in the small case. Okay, whenever it is print in the small case, only then it will understand that, okay, I have to print something. But if you mention P as capital letter, that means it is not able to understand what you're trying to say. So it will simply give you an error. So let us see what is the error that is being thrown up. Can you see name print is not being defined, or basically it is a name error. You can see name error is nothing but invalid syntax. Okay. Next. So I hope everyone is able to understand this, right? So for timing, I'll be just commenting it and running it so that I can ignore the error. Next. So let us understand some of the important, correct syntaxes of writing a print function. So imagine I want to print hello world. Okay. Here I have printed the value of sum. Now I want to print hello world. Can I mention like this? Hello world. How many of you think this is correct? How many of you think this is correct? No, this is not correct correct way of writing a syntax of print function. So you're trying to print. Okay, let me write here printing. Yes, printing hello world. So let us understand how to do this. So if I mention print hello world, now it will see that, okay, this is a variable. Variable name means, can you see sum? Now this is considered as a variable name. Why? Because some value has been stored inside it. Yes or no? A plus B is 30, and that 30 is being stored inside this sum. Same thing happens here. It will understand that, okay, hello is a variable name. But where did we mention hello? Here we have mentioned sum is equal to A plus B, and we are printing the value of sum. This is correct. But here, did we mention hello anywhere? No, we did not do that. So printing hello world is nothing but we are not printing the variable name, but instead we are printing a string. So whenever you want to suppose to print a string, you are mentioning it inside the quotes. Okay, this is how you mention inside the quotes. You can either mention single quotes, either mention double quotes or triple quotes. Now let's run it. Can you see we are able to see get the output as hello world. Now we'll do the same thing. We'll write one more print. We'll mention with the double quotes hello world. And see, we can see two hello worlds now, correct? So this is how the print function will work. So if I mention P capital, it will not work, just like we have mentioned here, right? So these are some of the rules to be followed. Now, if I mention N1 is equal to 10, N2 is equal to 20, sum is equal to N1 plus N2, and print the value of sum, can you tell me what should be the output? Obviously, it is 30. But if I go to the next line and if I mention the value of sum with the help of a quotes, now tell me what should be the output. Whether it is 30 or it should be sum. It is sum. Okay, it is never 30. It is sum, because this sum is a variable name, and anything that is enclosed inside the quotes is considered as a string that will be printed as it is. Okay, so I'll mention a comment here. This is a very important comment. Anything and everything that is mentioned inside the single slash double quotes will be printed as it is. Okay, this you have to understand perfectly. So anything that is enclosed in the single quotes or double quotes will be printed as it is. You can see it is mentioned inside the single quotes, so it is printing as it is. Here also, hello world is there inside the quotes. So same thing has been printed. I hope this is very much clear, right? Next, let us understand some of the parameters. Now, this I'll quickly copy and paste because it will take a lot of time for me to write. So I'll quickly copy and paste for you. What I'll do is, by the end of the session, I will be sharing this particular collaborative link. Okay. So why I'm doing this? Because, okay, I'll do it now only. So what you're supposed to do is kindly open this collaborative link and bookmark it. Okay. Bookmark this because the entire batch or entire course will be mentioned inside this collaborative link itself. Okay. This is one collaborative link we are using for the entire batch. So you are supposed to bookmark it. So whatever, if you, let's say you are missing one of the classes and you don't know what is happening, what has happened in that particular class. So you just open the collaborative link. All the comments has been mentioned. You are able to understand it better rather than watching the recorded classes. Okay. Yes. So there are two parameters inside this print function, and the two parameters are, one is called as an end parameter and one is called as a separator parameter. So printing both statements in a single line. Let's say I want to print two statements in a single line. For example, uh, I want to print it like this. Let's say I want hello world. Okay, I'll mention hello here, and in the next line I'll mention world. Okay, and let's run it. You can see hello is in first line, world is in the basically second line. But I do not want this world to come into the second line, but instead I want world to be mentioned in a single line. That is hello world in a single line. So this is what I'm supposed to print. How can I do this? See, imagine, okay, there is something called as an end parameter. Okay, there is something called as an end parameter inside the print function. So end parameter by default, it will be having a value that is a new line. Okay, so if you mention a backslash n, this means a new line. Okay, so if you mention hello and end is equal to a backslash n, that means it is coming to a new line. Obviously, it is coming to a new line. So it is, you can see hello in first line, world in the second line. But what happens if I just remove this new line? Default value, whatever the new value is there, new line is there, I'll be removing it. Now I have just one space. So what happens? It will print hello, and you can see the end parameter value has been changed to space. You can see there is a space, and it is printing the next statement, that is world. So it is not coming to the new line now, right? So if I did not have this end, if I did not change this, you would see that it is coming to a new line. But now what we did, we have mentioned end parameter as a null statement, or basically a space. So it is printing in the same line. So this is what we have done here. Hello world has been mentioned, and end parameter by default is a new line. But now we'll change that to a null statement, null value. So you can see hello world, how are you? It is mentioned in a single line. Perfect. Now, what do you mean by separator parameter? See, imagine we have two values. One is Rhinex we have written. One is gmail.com we have written. That is separated by a comma. Okay. So if I basically print this, it will look something like this. Can you see? Rhinex space gmail.com. So basically, the separator parameter by default, it is a space. Okay, so you can see default value of a separator is a space. So what we have done, we have changed our separator parameter to a specific value, that is at. So what happens is, every time you mention two values, now it will be separated by a at. Can you see? The output is Rhinex at gmail.com. Okay, I hope this is very much clear. Any doubts? Any doubts regarding the end and a separator parameter? I want everyone to reply in the chat box. Be quick. Okay, perfect. Next, now let us understand a very important concept, that is a variable. Okay, so again, I'll quickly copy and paste it because this will take a lot of time for me to write it. Yes, can you see? Anything that can store any value in programming language is termed as a variable. Okay, anything that can store any value in a programming language is termed as a variable. For example, you can see a is equal to 10. Now this 10 is being stored inside this value a. Yes or no? This 10 is being stored inside this variable name called as a. So here a is a variable, correct? Here, let me mention with the codes. Here a is a variable. Same thing applies here. Hello world is there, that is mentioned inside the codes, and this hello world is being stored inside a variable name called as message. So can I say here message is a variable? Yes. So whenever the variable is there, then if you want to print the value of the variable, then you are providing directly, that is print a. So you can see, if I run it, so you can see print a, it is mentioning 10, and if I mention print message, it is printing me print hello world. Okay, so there are some rules to write this variable. Okay, you cannot randomly write this a or message. Okay, you cannot randomly write anything as you want. No, we have some rules to be followed. So what are those rules? See, you cannot start a variable name with a number, but you cannot, you can continue with it. For example, I'll show you something. So if I mention 1a is equal to 10 and print the value of 1a, how many of you think this is the, I'll be getting the value as 10? If I run it, how many of you think this will give me the value as 10? No, it will not give me the value as 10 because it will say invalid decimal literal. That means invalid syntax where I cannot mention a number in the beginning, but I can continue with it. What do you mean by that? I cannot start, but I can continue. That is, I can mention A1, not 1A. Okay. So now I'm getting the value as 10. Now imagine I want to start at, I want to start the variable name with number. Anyhow, okay, I want to start the variable name with a number. So how can we do this? This can be done. So let me mention again 1A only. We can mention something called as an underscore. Okay. So underscore will take a replacement of this number first. So it will take the underscore first, then one, then A. That is valid. Okay. So you can see two of the rules are done. You cannot start the variable name with the number, but you can continue with it. We cannot use keywords as variable name. So what is the meaning of this? Keywords is nothing but, you can see, print. This is the keyword. What is it? What do you mean by keyword? Keyword is a specific word that is related to, or basically a special words. Exactly. These are special words that is understood only by the Python, right? So if I mention print is equal to 10, now 10 is been stored. I mean, basically the 10 should be stored inside this print variable. I'll mention print, the value of print. How many of you think we'll get the output? No, we won't be getting the output because this print is a keyword, and keyword cannot be mentioned with a, keyword we are not supposed to mention as a variable name. Okay. So this is the second rule. Third one is a case sensitive. What do you mean by that? Case sensitive is very simple to understand. Please understand like this. I have mentioned, let's say A1 is equal to 10. I'll mention print A1 now. Now both are same, right? Both are same. So if I run it, I should get the value as 10. No, I'm not getting it because here it is a small case and here it is a capital case. So both the cases are different, right? So whenever the cases are different, obviously the variable names is also different. So if I mention A1 is equal to 20, so I'm now able to, okay, Collabority has this problem where you have mentioned, if you mention like this, you are supposed to reload it. Otherwise, it will not give you the correct output. So what I'll do is I'll quickly reload it. Yes, give me one minute. Okay. Let it connect. We'll disconnect and delete the runtime. If you face the same error, what you do is click on runtime, click on disconnect and delete runtime. So let us run it once again. Now you are able to get the output. Okay. Yes. So these you can see A1, small case A1 is 10, capital case A1 is 20. So if even though these two are basically same, their cases are different. So we can consider this as two different variable names. And the last one, I think, yeah, so much is done. Okay. So many cases are, fine. Okay. Yes. Next, let us understand some of the basic operators in Python. Okay. So these are again very much important. So let me just quickly copy it. Yes. How many of you know these basic operators in Python? How many of you know this basic operators in Python? So basically, we have completed with small section of comments. We have finished with print function, and okay. So let us begin with basic operators in Python. Okay, how many of you know the basic operators in Python? That is arithmetic operators, comparison, logical, assignment. Anyone? Okay. Some know, some do not. Okay, no, not a problem. So let us begin. You are supposed to help me out. Okay, I'm giving some of the questions, so you are supposed to help me out. So first of all, let us go to arithmetic operators. So what do you mean by arithmetic operators? Arithmetic operators is a basic operators that we do in day-to-day life. Okay, for example, mathematical operators. So these are the arithmetic operators, that is addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. So already we know these meaning, right? The first four, it is very much simple. Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, everyone knows. So what I'll do, I'll mention A is equal to 10, B is equal to 5, and we'll do the arithmetic operators. So I'll mention sum is equal to A plus B, and I'll mention a print statement saying that sum is, and I'll mention with a comma the variable name, that is sum. So you can see sum is 15 I'm able to get. We'll do the same thing for difference also. Difference is equal to A minus B. So we'll go to the print statement saying that difference is the diff, right? So two of the statements is on. We'll do the same thing for the quotient as well as the product, right? So if you divide the value of A by B, you're able to get like this. Quotient is equal to A divided by A divided by B. Quotient is QNT. Product is A multiplied by B. Product is PROD. So let us run all of this. Yes, everyone is able to understand. Sum is 15, difference is 5, quotient is 2.0, product is 15. Simple, not a problem. Now let us understand these, that is 5, 6, and 7, that is modulus, floor division, and exponent. What is the meaning of this? See, I'll give you one question. If you divide 5 by 2, okay, if you divide 5 by 2, can you tell me what will be the remainder? Can you tell me what might be the remainder? Yes, everyone is telling me the answer as 1. I'm not asking the quotient. 2.5 is the quotient. I want the remainder. So 2 is there. 2 2s are 4. And 1 is been remained there, right? So that is a remainder. Yes or no? So to find this remainder, basically we are using something called as a modulus operator. So let us use that. Well, okay, I'll give a new number now. Number 1 is equal to 5. Number 2 is equal to 2. And we'll use MOD, that is mod, and we'll mention number 1. Now, what is the symbol for this? Symbol for this is a percentage. Okay, number 1, mod, number 2, and we'll print remainder is and you can mention the mod, MOD. So let's run it. You can see remainder is 1. So this is nothing but we are finding out the remainder. Very simple. Let's we'll understand something called as a floor division. Now, we'll do the same thing. Okay, we'll do the same thing here. We'll call flow is equal to number 1 divided by number 2, and we'll print quotient is floor. So if I run it, you can see the output. You can see that the output is 2.5, which is correct, right? 5 divided by 2 is nothing but 2.5. But I do not want this 0.5 values. Okay, can you see this? 2.5 is there, right? I do not want this 2.5. I just want to deal with the whole number, that is 2. So what I'm supposed to do, so that I'm eliminating this point value. To eliminate this point value, we are using a floor division where we are supposed to use a double forward slash. Okay. So if you run it right now, you are able to see the point value has been eliminated, and you can see only the whole number now. So what is the purpose of floor division? Floor division will basically eliminate the point value. So here also you can see 10 divided by 5, you can see obviously the output is 2, but output here you can see 2.0. So let's say I do not want this 0.0. So what I'll do, I'll mention a double slash or a floor division to eliminate those point values, right? So this is the importance of a floor division. Last but not the least, it is the exponent. Now everybody knows what do you mean by exponent, right? So what do you mean by exponent? So I'll mention POW is equal to, let's say 2 square. Okay, let's say 2 cube. Let's say I want to find the value of 2 cube. So what I'll mention is double asterisk or double star and mention 3. Well, print the value Okay, I'll mention like this. Base is, okay, we'll do one thing. Base is equal to power is equal to 3. Okay, now I'll mention these here, variable name, base and power. Okay, so base to the power. So first of all, we'll mention the base and then we'll mention the power. Let's run it. Are you able to see? Base is 2, power is 3, the output is 8. Yes or no? So we'll do the same thing as, let's say, 2 to the power 5. Okay, can you tell me first of all, what is 2 to the power 5? What is 2 to the power 5? 2 into 2, 4. 4 twos are 8. 8 twos are 16. 16 twos are 32, right? So we are supposed to get 32. Yes, we are getting 32. So if I want, let's say, 9 square. Okay, so first we'll change the base, that is 9, and we'll change the power to 2. So you can see the output as 81s. Well, we can do anything you want. For example, 9 to the power 8, you can see whatever value you want, you are able to get it here. So these are some of the arithmetic operators that we have to learn. Very simple, right? Any confusion in this? These are very, very simple to understand. Yes or no? I think everybody has able to, is able to understand this arithmetic operators. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the one more operator and we'll wind up the session. Two more operators, we'll do it on the next class. So arithmetic operators we have done. We'll move on to the comparison operators. So comparison operators is actually very, very, very simple to understand. Okay, when you compare to the arithmetic, comparison is very simple to understand. So let us understand this. Yes. So we have a comparison operators where first one is equal to, second one is not equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to. We'll understand one by one. First one, example number 1, EX1. I'm supposed to compare two values. Okay, I'm supposed to compare two values. I'll mention the values here. Number 1 is equal to 1. Number 2 is equal to 2. Now, just by looking at it, can you tell me whether the number 1 is equal to number 2? Whether the number 1 is equal to number 2? Obviously not, right? So, how to check it? How to check it? Okay, we know that it is no, it is not equal, but how to check it? This can be, this is, we are able to check the number 1 is equal to number 2 with the help of something called as a equal to. Now we are supposed to mention double equal to so that we can compare number 1 as well as number 2. So you are supposed to mention num1 here, double equal to num2. Okay, and print the value of ex1. We'll run it. Can you see? We are getting the output as a false. Now, anybody knows what kind of data type this is? What is a false data type? Yes, it is a Boolean. Very good, guys. Very good. Perfect. Your yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for your replies. We'll do the second example where I'm supposed to, okay, we know that these are not equal, right? Now I'm supposed to check that these numbers are not equal. Okay, if it is not equal, then I'm supposed to get true. What I'm supposed to do? Then we are checking for the not equal to. That means, okay, number 1 is not equal to number 2. Yes, that means it is true because we have 1 and 2 here, right? So you're mentioning number 1 not equal to with the help of exclamatory mark and equal to and number 2. And we'll print ex2. Can you see we are getting the output as true now? Why? Because obviously number 1 is not equal to number 2. We'll do one thing. We'll change number 1 as 2 now. What should happen basically? So the first one, we are checking number 1 is equal to number 2. That should be now true, right? What about the second one? Number 1 is not equal to number 2. That should be false. Yes. So let's see. Yes. Are you able to see? Perfect. Well, go to the next one. Here I'll mention number 3 and number 4. Okay. We'll mention number 3 as 5, number 4 as 2. Okay. So we'll go to EX3 is equal to, now we'll compare whether number 3 is greater than number 4. Whether it is greater, Whether it is greater, yes. So obviously I'm should get the value as true. Perfect. I'll do one thing. I'll mention both the values as 2 now. Whether 2 is greater than 2, whether 2 is greater than 2, no. So obviously I'm supposed to get the value as false, right? But it doesn't make any sense to mention 2 is greater than 2. But instead, can I mention 2 greater equal to? What do you mean by this? This means number should be, number 3 can be greater than number 4, or number 3 can be equal to number 4. Okay. So what should be the output now? The output basically should be true. Same thing applies for the less than and less than equal to. I'll mention it here. I'll mention less than now, and we'll mention this as EX4. So what should be the output? Again, it is true because number 3 is not less than number 4, but it is equal to number 4. So obviously we are supposed to get the output as true. We'll do one thing. We'll change the value as 5 now. So can you tell me what should be the output of EX3 first of all? What should be the value output of EX3? False. Okay. What should be the value or what should be the output of EX4? True. Okay. Let's see. Yes, perfect. So you can see third one is false and the fourth one is true. So I hope everyone is able to understand these comparison operators. So if you want to compare two values and you're supposed to compare whether they are equal or not, then we are using equal to. If you are supposed to compare two values and you're checking that they shouldn't be equal, then you're using this not equal to, then greater than equal to, less than equal to. Very, very simple to understand this, right? I hope everyone is able to understand what you are trying to do here. Yes. So that's it for today's class. The two of the operators, that is logical operators as well as the assignment operators, we'll do it in the next class. And we are lagging. We should